Who the hell am I? You see the title of the video. Who the hell am I for Lil Uzi Vert to be making a song directed towards or about? That is the question that pretty much everyone who comes across this video is going to initially be thinking, especially when on the surface, given my numbers and subscribers, followers, and everything across the board, I relatively seem like a nobody. I'm going to address that. My name is Day Quinn, and I am also known as TS Day. I go by TS Day. I do music. I'm a rapper and hip hop artist, and I am a transgender woman. I'm also known for being an adult cam model on a site called Chaturbate, and I've accumulated over 54,000 followers since I started when I was 19 years old, back in the year 2018. September 1st of 2018 to be exact. I am 26 years old now. I'm about to be 27. And yes, that's a little bit about me. What I think is of more importance, even more so than my camming career or my music career, what little of it is, I am someone on the internet who claims to be essentially the spokesperson for society of full transparency. And to break that down for you in terms of exactly what that is, essentially I'm talking about a society of no lies and no secrets across the board. Okay, where we eliminate lying as a thing, where you are unable to get away with telling a lie, where basically all information is accessible. And this will happen in 10 to 15 years, according to my predictions, as a result of civilizational level mass blanketed surveillance coupled with artificial superintelligence handling that data, managing it, processing it, and doing the surveilling essentially. So yeah, now that we got that out the way, I'm essentially claiming to be someone who should be taken very seriously. And I am no chump. Okay, I'm no chump. I said I do music. Yeah, my music is good to a level. It's not some chump trash. Okay, like I do genuinely get people who tell me they like my music. I've had people play my music in their car, bump it. I've had people memorize my lyrics. I've had people tell me that I have extreme potential and they see me even getting signed in the near future. And I would go as far as to say, personally, not even just out of cockiness or arrogance or anything, I would like to say I'm probably the best trans artist there is. In terms of just my talent and skill. And yeah. So yeah, these are things of importance, of significance, what I'm claiming to be like basically the best trans artist, especially if I do gain a larger following. I'm claiming to be someone of high importance in terms of my intellectual capacity and my high moral and philosophical beliefs regarding reaching a society of full transparency and making sure that that happens and garnering a movement and a following of people who want to see that happen. So yeah, I don't know if you couldn't tell already, but I am very well spoken. Like I said, I'm intelligent. I know how to construct my sentences and form them to a very good level. I would say I have a fairly comprehensive vocabulary, and I'm just not to be taken as a joke. Not to be taken as a joke. And so, with that being said, the song is Sade by Lil Uzi Vert. Sade from his Pink Tape. And this came out, I believe, 2023. June 30th, to be exact, of 2023. I want to start by stating a few things just right off the bat regarding this track in what I'm about to do when I play it and break it down for you. Essentially, what you need to understand, this before we get into this. This is very critical because this is the method in which he says things about me or directed to me. And it's that he uses essentially Yanny Laurel, Brainstorm, Green Needle. Okay, if you're someone of my generation or similar or near, you probably know what I'm talking about just from being online, scrolling social media, scrolling TikTok, what have you. And essentially what I'm saying is, yeah, he says two different things at the same time. I just know this is what he's doing, and they did it deliberately because he does it multiple times. And in multiple instances, it applies. Okay, I'm not a stupid person. I know that this is what was done because I've done it myself in my songs, or at least most notably in one particular song where I did set out to say two different things at once. My song Showbiz, especially in the second verse. I do it a handful of times. So, yeah, I'm not the first and only person to ever do it. And other artists have done this, where you say two different things at the same time that makes sense, that have meaning. So that's just one thing I need you to just understand, get that in your head. He's doing Yanny Laurel, Brainstorm, Green Needle, saying two things at once. And the next thing I want you to understand is that there's coincidences, both what I consider extreme and major, and then other ones that are a little bit less so, but still do apply to me. And there's just a handful of both of those types of coincidences in this song. And I'm gonna explain every coincidence. I'm gonna lay out every coincidence that I've discovered thus far. And mind you, I've listened to the song literally 200 times, give or take, I kid you not, since I discovered it back in 2024. I'm sure I'm still missing a few things, because this was done essentially scientifically and very good. So yeah, without further ado, I've been talking for a bit. Let's get into the breakdown. And yeah.
This that Uzi mixtape. I've been wearing Rick, boy, you way too Ricky late. Work on fine China, who that be a sticky plate.
Okay, so right off the bat, one thing that he says is work on fine china, would that be a sticky plate? This does relate to me. And then he says for things after this about the plate and such that apply. And so work on fine china. One thing that I totally forgot to share, and I just need to get this out of the way too, I should have prefaced this along with other things that I stated before we got into the track. Take into consideration the fact that he is rapping about things. He's using words and he's saying things, and it's like, are you gonna be under the impression that he's just saying these random things just because? It's like, that's not what I'm saying. He's saying these things with intention. He has chose these lyrics with intention to be directed at me. He's not just rapping random like what rappers do sometimes. I'm guilty of that, just saying some random stuff that just sounds cool. Like, yeah, he's not just doing that though. So I just need to get that out the way. So the work on fine china line, I do have a core memory regarding early into my transition where I was talking and flirting with this one guy who I'd met online, and he shared Fine China by Juice WRLD with me. I believe this was before I truly fell in love with Juice WRLD as an artist. And so this would have been one of my first Juice WRLD songs that I have listened to. Not the first, but one of the first. And it has meaning in the fact that this guy sent me it and had me listen to it. And he's like, oh, this makes me think of you. Shiny like $1,000 plate of fine china. Tell her that she's beautiful every day. I remind her. So it's a core memory in that sense. And also, in the song Fine China, Juice WRLD does say what some people, especially trans men, would take as anti-trans or very offensive. He says her last man had a pussy, had a vagina. her last man had a pussy, had a vagina. Like, that itself is where I think he's also getting at when he says work on fine china. Her last man had a pussy, had a vagina. Work on that. Work on fine china. Her last man had a pussy. Like, he's telling me to work on that because I have not had bottom surgery. And so that's what I think that coincidence is about. And then the sticky plate, there was an incident that I had that I'm going to get into after I play more of the lines, where there was a plate that was sticky with blood, and it was a result of a little accident that I had. And I just want to get it out the way too. If I sound a little like, oh, this is not convincing enough, I just hold on, bear with me. Trust me, this is not a joke.
Ooh, that be a sticky plate. I made her cry, she fucked her makeup up, got sticky face.
And I did cry to this.
Ooh, drop it low, ooh, Sade. Got a fan on my side, it's a shark day.
It's going to be very obvious that, one big coincidence is the fact that he is saying the word day literally over and over in the hook. And it's like, that in itself, it's a cheesy coincidence. And it's like, oh, okay. And that's just, that could be a coincidence. But when you take that into consideration with everything else I'm about to share with you, it becomes just that much higher of discernment, where it's like, no, yeah, like, that's why, it's not just that on its own. That's not just a one-off. Like, this has multiple coincidences, and it just applies even further because of that. So yeah, he's saying, drop a low, go Sade. And then the official lyrics are, got FN on my sign, it's a shark day. This is very critical. When he says, got FN on my side, it's a shark day, that is where he's doing the Yanny Laurel Brainstorm Green Needle. When I heard this for my first time, and this is a true story, I kid you not, I immediately heard, got a fan on my sign. Got a fan on my sign. That's what I heard. And what do? I go ahead and I look up the Wikipedia of Lil Uzi. I find what his birth sign is. I was curious because he's saying he's got a fan on his sign. He's a Leo. I'm a Leo. So is it really that just much of a mere coincidence where it's like, that's what I heard? That's what I heard. And that is literally what it turned out to be. Now, oh wait, shit, we are of the same birth sign. And I'll play it again. I can do that with some of these where I'll just like loop it, and I can loop it for you guys so you can just hear what I'm hearing.
Got a fan on my side, it's a got a fan on my side, it's a shark day. Got a fan on my side, it's a shark day. Got a fan on my side, it's a shark day. Got a fan on my side, it's a shark day. Shark day. Whipping up that glass. Shark day. She gon' shake that ass. Shark day.
So yeah, he says whipping up that glass. Sharp play. Sharp plate or sharp play. It's either one. Yanny Laurel. This is where that incident that I talked about, where things got bloody, it was an accident. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So he says whipping up that glass. The average listener might think he's talking about drugs, cooking up some drugs, something of that nature. But no, he literally means like whipping up that glass. When I had an incident where, after an argument with my now ex-boyfriend, I went to go put an empty cup into the sink, and I had a fit of rage go through me, where I was just so angry about the situation that I stupidly, whilst putting that cup in the sink, I decided to smash every dish that was in the sink. I just went, oh, and I was angry. And you can guess that one of those dishes, because there's plates and glasses in there, broke, shattered, and sliced me open on the wrist. And this is a key thing that I'm going to point out later as we go through this breakdown. This wrist. I had scars here that I had covered up with a rose tattoo. It's very beautiful, and they're fairly nasty scars. You can see before images on my ex and on my TikTok. That's essentially what he's talking about. And so yeah, with up that glass, it'd be a sticky plate, and it's a sharp plate, and it's a sharp play. It's a sharp play that I got this tattoo. This song came out roughly 6 months, give or take, ish. A little more than 6 after I got this tattoo in the end of in December of 2022. This came out June 30th of 2023.
Shark Day, I stay with that bag. Shark Day.
So yeah, he stays with that bag and he stays with that bad. He dropped the ending consonant on that.
I stay with that cash, just like Shark Day. Yeah. Whoa.
Now here, he just says a bunch of stuff that he knew I'd relate to. I know that for certain.
Sometimes I scare myself, cause I'm far from normal. See, I know I'm not the same, but then again at the same time I know I can't change. Seriously, yeah, I'm out of my brain. Pop back to sea and I bet I won't fade. I'm overseas with a little Japan thing. I offer her just a bottle of booty.
So yeah, that part right there. Offer her just to buy a little booty. He's saying I offer her just to buy a little booty, but it sounds just like I offered her just to buy her little booty. And if it was her little booty, if these people, assuming they know everything about me, they would have known that I would have liked to have a slightly bigger butt. And if he's saying buy her little booty, I did have an experience in 2021, right around the time of Christmas of 2021, where I literally did experience what seemed to me as evil attempting to basically sign me over, get me to sell out and sell my soul. This is a true experience that I had, and I can talk more about it on my TikTok and in videos, but I'm not going to get into too much detail about it, but just know that this is a true experience that I had, a true spiritual experience, and a true just a true thing that happened. It involved people who seem to have money and connections that were to a certain level. I mean, there was a party where we were in this what seemed like an expensive suite, very nice, multiple bedrooms, and there was like just random people over who I had no idea who they were, and they had chains on and stuff, and it was crazy. So that could have been Lucy's money. I don't know, just throwing that out there.
She don't need that cause she got with good coochie.
Okay, she don't need that cause she got with good coochie. The official lyrics are she got a good coochie, or she got real good coochie. She got real good coochie is the official lyrics. Now, again, you need Laurel Green or Brainstorm. He says with good coochie.
Cause she got with good coochie. Cause she got with good coochie. Cause she got with good coochie. Cause she got with good coochie.
So yeah, I got with good coochie. I basically signed over to the force of good with God. I got with good coochie. And essentially, in my opinion, this is a prediction, a foreshadowing of like, what if I do end up getting a literal functioning vagina in the future, just due to our rapid advancement in technology and science, especially due to the aid of AI.
She got with good coochie. And her you go, shout out to you. I think about you and say that I'm home.
The official lyrics are in, I can't pronounce the name of it, some Japanese or Chinese, maybe I think it's Japanese city in blah blah blah, that city. Shout out to Yuri. But that whole thing sounds exactly like in her Virtue code. Shout out to UD. And this applies to me in that I have a Cam Girl Crazy mixtape that I released in 2022. And I have a song called We Pray where my verse was code. I say like, Oh, D. Oh, please don't act like you don't know me. And I was like saying OD to like overdose, but it's like, oh, person named D, because there was an incident that I had with a person named D. I'm not gonna get into it. Don't act like you don't know me. Yeah, I'm gonna play it again. And you can hear in her verse too, like in her verse, like it's like verse. In her verse too, shout out CUD. So yeah.
In her but you go, shout out to you. I think of in her but you go, shout out to you. In her but you go, shout out to you. In her but you go, shout out to you. In her but you go, shout out to you. In her but you go, shout out to you.
It just does sound like Yuri. I can hear Yuri too, but again, it's just he's saying two things at once. It was done to such a level. I'm just certain of this.
I think about you every day that I'm home. She had no visa, but I tried to bring her home.
Listen to that. She had no visa, but I tried to bring her home. It's like the official lyric. She had no visa, but I tried to bring her home. The thing that I heard, which is what he's saying, is she handled visa, but I trap in her room. I kid you not, that's what he's saying. It's like I said, Green Hill Brainstorm, Yanni Laurel. He is saying this. It was done. It was engineered to this level. I can't stress it enough. Listen, he is saying she handled visa. Had no visa, had no handle. Trap in her room, try to bring her home. Try to bring her room, try to bring her home. See her?
She had no visa, but I tried to bring her home. She had no visa, but I tried to bring her home. She had no visa, but I tried to bring her home. She had no visa, but I tried to bring her home. I can't feel my feet. I can't feel my feet. This ecstasy. I'm so high, I'm trying to fall. I ain't supposed to get high, gotta feel. Supreme, I win, break it, it's a Geo. Been trapping for 3 days, I smell like Geo.
If it's relevant, like around the time before this was dropped, I was on a little bit of a camming grind as far as my camming on the adult site Chatterbait goes, and I would, I'd go a few days without showering because there's no such thing as smell-o-vision. So yeah, I'd go a few days without showering on my grind. And like, what does he say? He's like, he's been trapping. I smell like BO.
Trapping for 3 days, I smell like BO. Been trapping for 3 days, I smell like BO.
Yes, that applies. Just want to throw that in there. So this next one that I'm about to play, oh my god, this is another major one. Just like the fact that he says day, just like how he said, fan of my sign, and that is accurate. Just like those two major ones we've hit so far, this one is of that level, if not more. And it's the fact that he addresses my biggest insecurity. Okay? He talks about my nose. For those of you that know me, you do know that this is my biggest insecurity in terms of the symmetry, or should I say the asymmetry of it. And for those that don't know me, there you go. Yeah, so it is my biggest insecurity. I actually have a very neurotic obsession and fixation with it, and it's been that way since my face surgery in December 2019. And again, assuming people know everything about me, yeah, they would know that my nose is quite literally my most biggest insecurity. And so he talks about, he mentions a nose. He mentions the nose. And again, he's not just saying random things. Just, he says all this stuff in the song, and he's gonna say more. It was a coincidence, okay? And not only does he say the nose, he emphasizes it by saying it twice. I'm gonna get into that, but let me play it.
She saw my dick and I just come down her nose. Fuck from the back and make her walk on her nose.
So So yeah, he fucking emphasizes it by saying it twice. I'm gonna play it again real quick. Here's over and over. I'm gonna play the second time that he says it. Cause I cannot stress this enough. If you know anything about language and speaking, you would know that tone obviously plays a huge role in language and communication. And his tone of voice, when he says nose the second time, he's emphasizing it just by saying it twice. Think about that. Okay? He emphasized it. Not only that, but his tone of voice that he uses is that of pity. Is that of, oh, I know this is your insecurity and I'm pointing it out.
She saw my dick and I just come down her nose. Fuck from the back and make her walk on her nose. Go walk on her nose. Go walk on her nose.
That's the second time he says it. Listen to his tone.
Go walk on her nose. Go walk on her nose.
That's a tone of pity and, oh yeah, I know this is your insecurity, I'm pointing it out. That's what that is. Just one last time total.
I can make her walk on her nose. Fuck from the back, shower, bitch, I shower and go. She saw my dick and I just come down her nose. Fuck from the back and make her walk on her nose.
He's supposed to be saying the official lyrics, she sucked my dick and I just come down her nose. Yeah. No, he's literally saying, he listen, she saw my dick and I just come down her nose. He's saying she saw my dig and I just come down her nose. So he's like saying other things there where it's like, oh, she saw my dick, so like I dig. So it could be like, I saw this, like I saw his dig at me. And he just cummed on my like nose, like my knowledge, like, or like my nose, you know, not this nose, but that nose. You see what he did there? That's why he doesn't say suck, he said saw.
She saw my dick, 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 she saw my dick.
Clearly, he says saw. Anyways, let's go on to this. This one is critical too.
I just come down her nose. Fuck from the back and make her walk on her nose. Her head so good she made me tap on my toes. I curl my toes.
So yeah, what he just said there was pretty substantial. The official lyrics are, her head so good she made me talk with my toes. I curl up my toes. Talk with my toes, I curl up my toes. That's not what it sounds like. I cannot stress this. Her head's so good, she made me tell on my toes, is what he's saying. Tell on my toes, and I'll play and you'll hear tell on my toes, not talk with my toes. It's tell on my toes. Like to tell something, to tell something, like on your toes, like be on your toes, be cautious, be ready, tell on my toes. And then he says, I swear, he says, I gut 'em, I toast. Now, this is because I believe Lil Uzi could be, I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying it's very well possible Lil Uzi could be a bad actor. He could truly be on the force of evil. He does artistically portray satanic ideas and elements and imagery in his persona and his character and his image. What if that's just not a gimmick? What if that's him just being open about the fact that, yeah, he truly is evil? He has a song where he's like, I'm too evil, too evil, too evil, too evil. I forgot what the song is. If you know it, you know it. He literally has a song where in the verse he's like, I'm too evil, too evil, too evil. Like, it just says he's evil. So is it far-fetched for me to say that he's saying I gut on my toes? I'm just not sound like a curl up my toes. It's a guh. You can hear it.
Her head so good she made me tap on my toes. Then she made me tap on my toes. Then she made me tap on my toes.
Tell my
She made me
toes.
tap on my toes.
Not talk. That's not talk. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
I curl my Then she made me turn my toes. I curl my toes. I curl my toes.
Hear that
I
go?
curl my toes. I curl my toes. I curl my toes. I curl my toes. I curl my toes. Get that Uzi mixtape.
Dead ass. That's what's going on. I'm dead ass.
Work on fine China. Ooh, that be a sticky place. I made her cry. She fucked her makeup up. Got sticky face. I'm tired of smoking on these motherfucking icky vapes.
This is critical. Back to the rose. Yeah, so with everything being said thus far, yeah, he straight up says rose gold on my wrist. Rose gold on my wrist. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so like everything else that I stated, you gotta really start believing me here, or at least come to the idea that I could possibly be onto something and that maybe I'm making a point here. Rose gold on my wrist. That's a complete acknowledgement of the tattoo. Rose and wrist. He could have said diamonds on my wrist. He could have said diamonds on my wrist. It's the same syllables. He could have said anything. He could have not even said anything about anything on his wrist. He could have said, got that necklace, you know, something. He just said anything. He just said anything. He's not just saying random things. He's not just saying random shit. It's intentional. Rose gold on my wrist. It's an intentional call and acknowledgement of literally what I've done with my wrist and those scars, having a rose on my wrist. But he's pointing out the fact that he's got rose gold on his wrist. You ain't got my money. And we're gonna get into that. This is where he just says a series of coincidences back to back. And yeah.
Working on my wrist, Richard with the Cartier. You ain't got my money, just like Cardi said. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. Dead, all these scars, it's a Hardy day. Yeah. Working on my wrist, Richard with the Cartier. You ain't got my money.
Wow, let's break this down. I kid you not, this is all what's going on. I'm fucking dead ass fucking serious. Like, I'm dead ass serious about everything that I talk about when it comes to like my vision of the future of a society of full transparency. Just I'm dead ass about that. I'm dead ass about these coincidences, what he's doing with this song, and that it is directed towards me. So yeah, here. You ain't got my money. That is literally also you ain't got my money. Now hold on. I'm not claiming to be literally God, okay? Just gonna get that out the way now. However, I did say that I discovered this back in 2024. Do not let this discredit me in any way when it comes to me having this belief that this is directed towards me, because I'm in no way like I was in 2024 in a psychosis. I was either entering or just in around the phase of being in a psychosis that I did have around that time in 2024, and that's around the time when I discovered this. And I did think I was Jesus Christ. I totally believed it. I know it's crazy. And people say Jesus Christ was the Son of God, if not God himself. So when I first heard this, yeah, I took that insanely personally. However, I do just want to say it still applies because, like I stated, society of full transparency, that's very Christ-like. I am on a very Christ-like mission. And some would argue my character in itself is very Christ-like, in the fact that I do not fucking lie, and I do not have any fucking secrets, and that I'm just a good person all around, and I have a good moral compass. Everything that I do, and just everything about me, it could be qualified as Christ-like. And so, yeah, it is a godlike idea to create a world of literally no lies and no secrets. That's godlike. So for me being the spokesperson of that, you ain't got my money, you absolutely bet I still take that personally. Here's the thing. He follows it up with, just like Cardi said, Playboy Cardi, his friend, his other satanic buddy, just like Cardi said. Yeah, no, but the thing is, he followed you ain't got my money with the exact principle, just like Cardi say. You hear that? Just like a face card. Some could say I have a face card. Yeah, it's a lie card. He has a lie card. Lil Uzi, if he's a really bad actor, really easy motherfucker, he has a lie card. I'm taking the lie card from civilization by being on this mission. Society of full transparency. And so yeah, just like Cardi say. Oh, I'm sorry, bae. He does say bae, he doesn't say day. However, this was mixed with some fuckery because it's a fact. If you listen to this in various volumes through various different speakers, it really does depend. I can confirm that I do hear bae. That is what it was intended to be. That's the official lyric. I do hear they, and I do, honest to God, hear day. Do honest to God hear, oh, I'm sorry, day. You ain't got my money, just like Cardi say. Oh, I'm sorry, bae. Or, oh, I'm sorry, day. Dead and dead. Well, that's what I thought it was. It's Day of the Dead. I've slowed it down. Day of Dead. Which even makes more sense he's saying day. If officially in that one. Day of Dead. He does say all these scars. That is the official lyric. All these scars. It's the official lyrics. It's Ed Hardy Day. It's Ed Hardy Day. However, again, me and Elor Grano brainstorm. Day of Dead, all these scars is Aunt Harley Day. Now, my name is Day Quinn. I'm trans. I named myself essentially when it came to, especially my middle name, Quinn, and that is just a fact that they would know. I largely took inspiration from the character Harley Quinn when it came to me choosing Quinn as my middle name. It's not a lie. All these scars is Aunt Harley Day. Yeah, okay, so there's a lot of depictions of Harley Quinn where she does have scars. The one time that I know of where Harley Quinn is not depicted with scars, any scars, is in the 2016 movie Suicide Squad. She doesn't have any scars. And she's portrayed with pink, white, and blue hair. The trans flag colors. So, just thought I'd throw that out there in terms of, yeah, that's the Harley Quinn he's talking about. And I do have scars. I have several. These are not the only scars that I've had. I have a hairline scar, I have a scar under here, I have a scar on my a little indent on my forehead, I've got a scar on my back, I have a scar on my knee, I have a few scars. I just play that whole little chunk of just back-to-back coincidences again, and I'll play them over and over.
Richard with the Cartier. You ain't got my money.
You ain't got my money.
Just like Cardi say. Just like Cardi say.
See that? Just like
Cardi say. Just like Cardi say.
Right after you ain't got my money.
You ain't got my money. Just like Cardi say. Cardi say. Just like Cardi say. Just like Cardi say. Oh, I'm sorry, babe.
I heard babe that time. It was dead.
Sorry, babe. I'm sorry, babe.
I heard babe.
Oh, I'm sorry, babe. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. Dead. All these scars is Ed Hardy Day.
You hear that?
All these scars is Ed Hardy Day. All these scars is Ed Hardy Day.
It's Ed Harley Day by the official lyrics, but it sounds just like it's a Harley Day.
All these scars is Ed Hardy Day. All these scars is Ed Hardy Day. Yeah. All these scars is Ed Hardy Day. Yeah. All these scars is Ed Hardy Day. All these scars is Ed Hardy Day.
He's doing Grenado Brainstorm.
All these scars is Ed Hardy Day. All these scars is Ed Hardy Day.
I'm just being dead ass about this, guys. And so he says one more line. It's not a coincidence that pertains to me, but it pertains to his potential character and the fact that, yeah, he says he's basically not going to go along with this society of full transparency.
Not about the breach, then I will not partake. The breach, then I will not.
So yeah, he says, not about the breach, then I will not partake. Official lyrics is breach, not breach. But no, he's saying not about the breach. I'm gonna listen to it.
Not about the breach, then I will not partake. Not about the breach, then I will not partake. About the breach, then I will not.
Like, that's what he's talking about. And in Christianity, there is a thing called the breach. I'm not entirely sure. I think to summarize, it has to do with humanity going against God and then sinning and something like that. But the technical term of a breach is to like hijack a system and to just essentially dismantle it and so forth. So yeah, and so yeah, he's saying not about the breach, then I will not partake. He's saying he's not with it.
My bitch fuck the rapper, ooh, give me heartache. Go, ooh, drop it low, ooh,
You hear that little beep beep?
Ooh, drop it low,
Right there.
Ooh, drop it, go, ooh, drop it low, go, ooh, drop it low, ooh,
You hear that little beep beep in the background? Yeah, I did make a EP before I transitioned, and I had a line where I'm like, every time you see me drive, beep beep. So it's a coincidence. I know it's a small one, but nevertheless a coincidence.
Got a fin on my side, it's a shark day. Whipping up that glass, shark play. She gon' shake that ass, shark day.
And of course, like, I just want to stay like, yeah, she go shake that ass. Like, yeah, I'm a cam girl. I've twerked on cam.
I stay with that bag, Shark Day. I stay with that cash, just like Shark Day.
It's like, just listen to this. Like, it's like he's talking about someone, and he's kind of like hyping me up at the same time, even if he may not be on my side. Like, he's like, go Sharday. Like, he's like, go Sharday. Like, go Sharday. Like, listen to that in the background. Like,
Shark Day.
You hear that? Like, he's saying he's. He's totally encouraging someone. Like, he's saying go Sharday. Like, that's a thing. I just want to point out these last few things in these last few little coincidences. When he said that just like Cardi say, that was amplified and emphasized when he said just like Cardi say, because it was timed to 2 minutes and 22 seconds, 222, an angel number. Right when 222 hits, he says just like Cardi say. That's one coincidence. It was emphasized. Another big coincidence is the end of the song. The timestamp that it cuts out at is 3 minutes and 19 seconds, 319. My area code that I am from is the 319, and I even made a song called 319, part of that EP I said I made before my transition, where I said the beep beep line. And so yeah, it ends, you can confirm it, the audio cuts out at 319 abruptly. So lastly, I cannot wrap this video up without stating these last coincidences, if you're so willing to entertain the idea. So yes, I did believe I was Jesus Christ in my psychosis, and if I'm going to be honest, I do entertain the idea that I could be the second coming of Christ. Entertain. I don't actively believe it. I just want to emphasize that I am not willing to take on that title. I am in no way willing to be like, oh yeah, I'm Jesus. Like, no. I'm not Jesus unless that becomes like the popular opinion on me. However, I entertain the idea just because, like I stated, I'm very Christ-like in my mission and character. And I didn't point this out, but at the end of the video, I just do want to. He says, pop ecstasy. But he doesn't say pop ecstasy. That's the official lyric. He says pop at the sea. Pop at the sea. The sea. The Christ. Pop at the sea.
Seriously, I'm out of my brain. Pop at the sea, I bet I won't faint.
But I won't faint. I find it highly interesting that he's not saying ecstasy, he's saying at the sea, at the sea. He's saying he's pop at the sea. You can hear it.
I'm out of my brain. Pop at the sea, I bet I won't faint. Pop at the sea, I bet. Pop at the sea. Pop at the sea. Pop at the sea, I bet I won't faint.
The second time where he uses the word ecstasy, referring to C, the C, is also in the first verse. He's saying, can't feel my feet. I just never understood this whole part right here. And the whole when he says, it's ecstasy, like I feel it. But yeah, I did pick this up.
I can't feel my feet. I can't feel my feet.
Listen to that, I can't feel my feet. And then what does he follow that up with?
This ecstasy.
I'm aware this could be a stretch. However, it's a coincidence, the fact that he's saying fee. Like, yeah, he's saying feet, but he's T-dropping. He's saying fee. I can't feel my feet. You probably know where I'm going with this.
Can't feel my feet.
See?
I can't feel my feet.
It's fee.
I can't feel my feet.
And then
This ecstasy.
the sex is C. So yeah, that's my breakdown of the song, why I have pretty much just absolute discernment that this is about me. I just cannot express that enough. So while I don't think this video is going to get many views, I don't anticipate it to, at least not at first. I'm just flying under the radar. I'm not getting attention, is the thing. And I know in my heart, mind, body, and soul that I will one day amass a lot of views and engagement with my content, because I do think I'm that important of an individual. And I'm not fucking playing around. I'm not fucking bullshit. You can go listen to my music, especially my latest song, Light Waves. It's a good fucking song. It's good. It is a song that would be like, oh yeah, I can see how this is the best trans artist. If you did watch this video to its entirety, then I appreciate you. And God bless. And I hope to see you again. Feel free to check out my other content. You can find me on pretty much most of the major platforms: X, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, you name it. Have a good one.